Chosen one, Enoch spoke about you with a clarity that can feel almost frightening. I am speaking to you now because what was written long ago was never meant to remain hidden from you. And if you turn away, you may miss something that was prepared for your life before you were even born. Enoch saw with startling detail a generation that would rise carrying both light and burden at the same time. And you are part of what he saw. What he described was never meant simply to frighten you, but to wake something up in you, because you have been walking through your life without fully realizing how closely heaven has been watching you. Listen carefully, because what you are about to understand will bring meaning to some of the struggles you have carried, the calling you have felt, and that strange sense that you have never completely belonged to this world. Type Amen if you agree. I revealed to Enoch that there would be souls who moved differently, who felt things deeply, and who could not simply turn away from truth when truth became painful. You have sensed that difference from your earliest days, even when you could not explain it. And it has remained with you through every season you have walked through. The loneliness you experienced was not rejection, it was separation with a purpose. The confusion you have carried was not weakness, but the weight of seeing and feeling more deeply than you knew how to express. Enoch saw people like you standing between darkness and light, refusing to bow even when everything around them seemed determined to pull them down. That is why your path has carried so much difficulty, because an easy road was never what you were being asked to walk. Before you continue, I ask you from a place of genuine care to support this moment by liking this video, because it can help this truth reach others who are also searching, hurting, and trying to understand what they are going through. Enoch described a time when chosen ones would question what they were told, not because they wanted to rebel, but because their hunger for truth could not be satisfied by empty words. That hunger is still alive within you, and it has continued pushing you toward deeper meaning. Even when people told you to stop searching, you were misunderstood because they could not see what you were carrying inside your spirit. They saw your silence, your distance, and your intensity, but they did not understand what was happening beneath the surface. I saw you in those moments, and I never left you. I saw the times when you felt abandoned, and I saw the nights when you wondered whether you had enough strength to keep going. There were nights when your thoughts became so heavy that the silence around you seemed louder than any noise. Nights when you may have prayed and wondered why heaven felt so quiet. Enoch saw those nights too, and he wrote about those who would endure them and still rise again with a quiet strength. That strength does not come from you alone. It comes from me, and it has been growing through every trial you have faced. You thought you were falling apart, but there were things being formed in you through what you endured, preparing you to carry what you would later be asked to carry. This is why you have survived things that once seemed capable of ending your story, because your story was never meant to end in those places. Type 7777 if you trust God. What frightened Enoch was not your weakness, but what he saw your potential becoming. He saw how much could change once you understood who you are, and he saw that the same world that once overlooked you would eventually feel the effect of your presence. That change would not come through force, but through truth. You are not here simply to fit yourself into systems that were built without light. You are here to bring light into them. That is why resistance rises within you when you try to live exactly like everyone else, because your spirit refuses to remain settled in what does not agree with your purpose. I place something within you that continues to speak, even when you try to ignore it. There have been people who tried to dim your light, make you question yourself, or convince you that you were somehow too much or somehow never enough. They did not understand that what they were struggling against was not merely you, but what I placed within you. Enoch saw that chosen ones would be tested through people, through circumstances, and through battles that would happen quietly within themselves and shape their character. You have known betrayal, disappointment, confusion, and moments when you were left wondering what any of it meant. Yet you are still here, still searching, and still holding on. And that matters because I am still working in your life, even when you cannot clearly see what I am doing. You have wondered why certain doors closed without explanation, why opportunities disappeared, and why things you expected to work simply did not. You saw the closed door. You did not see everything beyond it. You did not see the protection that was guiding you away from paths that were not meant for you, or the reasons some things had to end before you could understand their purpose. Enoch wrote about divine redirection, about seasons that look like loss while they are actually protection in another form. I have been leading you, even during the moments when you believed you were lost, and the steps you have taken have been part of something larger than what you could see at the time. Nothing in your life has been random. Even the pain you struggle to understand has carried a purpose. Something is shifting now, and you can sense it in the way your thoughts are changing, in the way you are beginning to notice things differently, and in the deeper awareness growing within you. You are starting to recognize patterns that once confused you and understand yourself in ways you could not before. This is not by chance. It is the awakening Enoch spoke about, the moment when chosen ones begin to step more fully into the identity they are coming to understand. You are not the same person you were before, and you will not return to that person. I am calling you forward into something greater, something that requires your full attention and your full trust. What lies ahead will ask for courage, because moving toward your purpose means releasing what has become familiar, walking a road others may not understand, and trusting me when you cannot yet see where that road leads. Enoch saw that chosen ones would reach a moment when they would have to choose between remaining where they were comfortable and stepping into their calling. You are standing in that moment now, and the decision before you will shape what comes next in your life. I am with you as you face it, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what is ahead. Why is an NYC neuroscientist breaking their silence about a hidden brain ritual? Reports say their attorneys are trying to shut this page down after CIA-linked research revealed a brainwave method connected to attracting money. This 7-second practice, reportedly supported by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people move away from financial stress toward more stable lifestyles. Many people are now stepping into dream homes, driving luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations. If you are seeing this now, consider yourself lucky, because this page may not remain online for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You are not alone on this path, even during the moments when it feels as though you are the only one walking it. I have placed signs around you, people who will support you, and moments that will remind you of my presence. Enoch saw that chosen ones would be protected, even in the middle of chaos, and that protection is covering you now. You may never see every danger I have kept you from, but there are many things you have been spared without ever knowing it. My hand has been over your life, even during seasons when you could not understand what was happening. Trust that I am working for you, even when the circumstances around you make no sense. Enoch spoke about this very moment when the chosen one begins to feel restless without fully understanding the reason. That restlessness is not simply confusion. It is a sign that your spirit is waking up to something greater. You may feel as though you are losing your direction, but you are beginning to outgrow what once held you in place. There are things in your life that no longer give you the peace they once did, and you have felt that change even when you could not explain where it came from. It has left you questioning the people around you, the places you once felt comfortable in, and even parts of yourself that used to feel familiar. You have tried to push the feeling aside, quiet it, and tell yourself that nothing has really changed. But it keeps returning to your heart. I am gently drawing you away from what no longer serves the purpose I have placed before you. Enoch saw that chosen ones would pass through seasons of separation, not as a punishment, but as a preparation for what was ahead. What you are experiencing may feel like something is being taken away from you, but this season is not simply an ending. It is the beginning of a deeper alignment, a movement toward what fits the path I have been leading you toward. Type 1-1 if you believe you have noticed this change within yourself as well. You may have noticed that your awareness has become sharper, that you can recognize truth and falsehood more clearly than you once could. Because of that, certain environments, conversations, and behaviors that once seemed ordinary had become increasingly difficult for you to tolerate. You may have quietly asked yourself why your heart reacts so strongly to things other people seem able to overlook, and why you suddenly feel so different from those around you. Enoch described this as the sharpening of the spirit, a season when chosen ones begin to see beyond what is visible on the surface. This growing awareness is not something you need to fear. It is leading you toward greater clarity. There were moments when you questioned your own perception, wondering whether you were simply overthinking things or imagining what you could not prove. Yet somewhere deep within you, there remained a sense that there was something more, something you could not fully explain and still could not bring yourself to deny. I placed that awareness within you, and every experience you have walked through has given it greater depth. Even your pain has shaped the way you understand what you see and strengthened the way you perceive what is happening around you. Nothing you have faced has been without meaning, even those moments that seemed empty, confusing, or completely wasted at the time. You have been tested in ways that many people around you may never have recognized, because some of your hardest battles happened where no one could see them. Some of those battles were fought quietly, in your own thoughts, while you carried a weight you had no words for. Enoch saw that chosen ones would endure these hidden struggles and come through them with greater strength. You have learned how to keep standing when outside support was uncertain, how to continue when you had to depend on strength that seemed to appear only one day at a time. But that strength was never something you built entirely by yourself. I have been forming it within you through every season you have endured. I have been present in the places where you thought you were simply surviving. There is also a reason you have felt such a deep pull toward truth, meaning, and something beyond the ordinary things of this world. That longing is not random. It is part of your design, something placed within you before you ever entered this life. Enoch spoke about those who could not remain satisfied with surface-level understanding, people who kept searching for deeper answers, even when that search made their road more difficult. That is who you are, and it helps explain why your path has often felt different from the paths of those around you. You were never meant to accept everything blindly. You were meant to seek understanding and eventually lead from what you have learned. Type 12, 12, 12 if you trust in Jesus. There have also been times when you looked at other people moving forward and quietly wondered why your own life seemed to be standing still. And that comparison has made you question your value, your direction, and whether you were somehow falling behind. But what you could not see was that your journey was unfolding at another pace for another purpose. Enoch saw that chosen ones would sometimes walk according to a timeline that looked completely different from everyone around them, and you have been living through that kind of season. You are not behind. You are being prepared through a process that requires patience, depth, and time. There have been delays that frustrated you, moments when you felt ready to move, and yet nothing seemed to open in front of you. You may have wondered whether your efforts were being overlooked, whether the prayers you kept bringing to me were reaching heaven at all, or whether I had simply chosen silence. I know how difficult waiting can become when you have already given me the same request again and still cannot see an answer. But while you were looking at what was not moving, I was working in places you could not yet see, bringing things into alignment in ways you did not understand. Enoch wrote about divine timing, about the way chosen ones sometimes have to wait for the right moment before stepping fully into their calling. Those delays were not denial. They were part of protection and preparation. There have also been moments when, even for a brief time, everything seemed to become clear, and you felt a peace that reached deeper than your circumstances. Those moments may have passed sooner than you wanted, but they left something behind in you, a quiet reminder of what is possible and a glimpse of the alignment you are moving toward. Enoch described these moments as signs, small openings through which truth becomes visible to those who are ready to recognize it. Those moments are meant to guide you, encourage you, and remind you that you are moving in the right direction. As you continue, you will begin to recognize more moments of clarity, more understanding, and more confidence in the person you are becoming. But this growth will ask something from you, because you will have to release beliefs and patterns that no longer fit the life you are being led into. Some of them once felt comfortable, which is why letting them go may feel painful, even when you know they can no longer remain. Enoch saw that transformation would involve sacrifice, and that chosen ones would sometimes face decisions that were difficult to make. Those decisions would move them closer to their true purpose, even when the choice itself felt uncertain. What if a leading neuroscientist has just revealed a method that is helping thousands of people attract money into their lives? Research connected to the CIA suggests that a simple brainwave ritual may influence the way you notice and respond to financial opportunities, and this 7-second technique, reportedly validated by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people move from financial pressure toward improved lifestyles. Many people are now describing lives that include dream homes, luxury cars, and luxury vacations. But this information may not remain online for long, so click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You were never meant to carry everything by yourself, even though carrying things alone has become familiar to you. I am here with you, guiding you, supporting you, and reminding you that you have not been abandoned. There will be moments when you sense my presence more deeply, moments when a calm settles over you that you cannot fully explain with words. Those moments are real, and they are meant to reassure you that you are not walking this path by yourself. Enoch spoke about divine presence and about how chosen ones would receive support even in seasons when they felt completely alone. There is something inside you that has been waiting for the courage to come into the open. Something you have kept hidden because you are unsure whether it mattered, whether it had value, or whether anyone would truly understand it. You have questioned whether what you carry is worth expressing, and at times it may have felt safer to keep that part of yourself quiet. But what has been placed within you was never meant to remain buried forever. It is meant to come into the light. Enoch saw that chosen ones would carry gifts that were never intended to end with them, gifts meant to touch lives beyond their own. What you carry has a purpose beyond your private world. And as you begin to embrace that, something quiet begins to change within you. The confidence that once felt fragile starts becoming steadier, and the doubt that once spoke so loudly begins to lose its hold. You will begin trusting yourself more, listening more carefully to that inner voice, and paying attention to the guidance you receive. That trust will not appear all at once. It will grow through the choices you make, through the moments when you listen, and through the times you choose to follow what you know in your heart. Over time, that trust becomes part of the foundation beneath your decisions. Enoch described this as alignment, a place where chosen ones begin moving in harmony with the purpose placed before them. You are moving toward that place, even if you still feel unfinished. The road ahead will continue to carry challenges, but you are no longer the person who once looked at every difficulty with the same fear. You have lived through things, learned from them, and developed a resilience that will continue to sustain you through what lies ahead. Enoch saw that chosen ones would rise through their trials, not because they escaped difficulty, but because they learned how to face it with strength. You have already endured more than you once believed you could, and that endurance has become part of your story. There is a calling upon your life that you will not be able to ignore forever, and lately you may have felt it becoming harder to push aside. You can sense it in the way your thoughts are changing, in the desires that are beginning to matter more, and in the priorities that no longer look the way they once did. This calling is not something foreign being placed upon you from the outside. It is something within you that is being stirred and brought forward. Enoch spoke of this activation, of the moment when chosen ones would begin stepping more fully into who they were meant to become. You are moving toward that moment, and it may be closer than you realize. You have also begun noticing patterns that keep returning in your life, but you are seeing them differently now. What once left you confused is beginning to reveal a lesson, and what once wounded you is beginning to show you something about strength. Enoch spoke of this kind of cycle, of chosen ones returning to certain experiences until understanding finally takes root. You are not simply going in circles. Something is being refined in you each time you rise and see more clearly than before. Every time you move through a familiar struggle with greater awareness, something that once controlled you begins to loosen its grip. With each return, you are learning more about what those experiences were trying to teach you. There have also been people who entered your life and then disappeared without giving you the answers you wanted. You may have wondered why certain connections faded, why some relationships could not endure, or why you sometimes seemed to care more deeply than the other person did. What you could not see at the time was that every person who enters your path is not necessarily meant to remain there forever. Enoch saw the chosen ones would experience separation from people whose lives could no longer move in harmony with their purpose. Those endings were not simply rejection. They could also become protection and redirection. There have been environments you felt compelled to step away from, even though you could not fully explain why. At first, that distance may have felt uncomfortable, almost like you were giving up something familiar, yet somewhere beneath the discomfort, there was a quiet relief. That feeling was your spirit recognizing that certain places and patterns no longer belonged where you were going. Enoch described this as spiritual separation, a season when chosen ones begin moving away from what continually drains them. You are not simply becoming more distant. You are becoming more aligned. There were times when you tried to return to old habits, old spaces, or old ways of living because they were familiar, but something within you would no longer allow you to remain there comfortably. You began to feel like you had outgrown places that once felt normal. And although that realization has been confusing, it has also become part of your growth. Enoch saw that chosen ones would eventually outgrow their past, even when leaving the familiar felt painful. You are not losing yourself through this process. You are coming to recognize more clearly who you are. At the same time, a deeper understanding has been taking shape within you, a sense that your life reaches beyond what your eyes can immediately see. You are learning to trust your intuition more, even in moments when what you sense does not fit neatly with logic or expectation. That trust matters because it is one of the ways I guide you. Enoch spoke of inner knowing, of chosen ones, learning to recognize and listen to the voice within them. That voice has been speaking to you longer than you may realize, and now you are beginning to hear it with greater clarity. Type Tappen Tappen to receive blessings. You have lived through seasons when nothing seemed certain, when you could not tell what was coming next or how your circumstances would unfold. Those seasons stretched your patience and tested your faith, sometimes bringing you right up against the limits of what you thought you could carry. Yet they also taught you how to remain standing when everything around you felt unstable. Enoch saw that chosen ones would be tested in uncertainty, and that those experiences would prepare them for greater responsibility. You are stronger than you were before, even on the days when you have trouble recognizing that strength in yourself. There were moments when you felt overlooked, when the effort you were making seemed invisible, and your voice seemed to disappear into the background. You may have asked yourself whether your work mattered at all, whether anyone noticed what you were giving, or whether your presence was making any difference. I have seen every step you have taken, every effort you have made, and every moment when you chose to keep going. Enoch spoke about work that happens where no one else can see it, about chosen ones building something meaningful while receiving little recognition for what they were doing. Your work has never been hidden from me, even when it has felt invisible to everyone around you. The quiet effort, the patience, the decisions you made when no one was watching, and the times you continued despite feeling discouraged, all remain seen. What has been unseen by others has still been seen by me. Could a hidden part of your brain be influencing your ability to attract money? A study from Columbia, linked to CIA research, points to a small brain mechanism that can be activated through a simple 7-second ritual, with the method described as being backed by 4 neuroscience labs. This practice is helping some people move beyond financial struggle toward more stable lifestyles, with reports of people moving into dream homes, owning luxury cars, and finally enjoying luxury vacations. However, this information may not remain available online for long, so click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You are also beginning to understand something important about your value. It does not have to come from the approval of other people. You have spent seasons trying to meet expectations, seeking acceptance, and shaping yourself around opinions that were never truly yours to carry. But now you are learning to stand more securely in who you are, allowing your sense of worth to come from within, rather than depending entirely on how others see you. This change matters because it begins loosening the limitations you accepted when you were trying so hard to be understood. Enoch saw that chosen ones would eventually move beyond their dependence on external validation. You are beginning to experience that freedom now. It may not arrive loudly or dramatically. It can begin as something much quieter, a steady confidence that remains even when nobody applauds you. This confidence does not have to come from having everything figured out, because it is growing through your willingness to trust who you are becoming. You may still have moments when doubt returns, when old questions rise again, and you wonder whether you are truly moving in the right direction. But those moments do not erase the growth that has already taken place within you. You have learned to listen differently, to recognize what no longer fits, and to pay attention to what continues to call you forward. The freedom you are entering is becoming less about proving yourself to others, and more about living from a place of deeper trust. Enoch described chosen ones as eventually breaking free from the need to be validated by everyone around them. You are stepping into that freedom now, learning that your path does not become less meaningful simply because someone else fails to understand it. You do not have to keep reshaping yourself to fit every expectation placed upon you. What is growing inside you is becoming steadier, quieter, and more secure, and you are beginning to recognize that you can move forward without needing everyone else to confirm who you are. There is a quiet confidence taking root inside you. It does not need to announce itself, and it does not depend on having every answer figured out. It is steady because it is learning to trust the person you are becoming. That confidence will begin guiding the way you move forward, helping you make choices that are increasingly aligned with the purpose before you. Enoch described this kind of strength as an inner foundation, something chosen ones build slowly through everything they live through. You are building that foundation right now, one experience at a time. There will still be moments when doubt rises again, when an old fear returns and tries to pull you back toward the person you used to be. But those moments are part of being human, and they are part of growing. They do not erase what has already been formed within you. What matters is that you keep moving, even when uncertainty walks beside you. Enoch saw that chosen ones would face battles within themselves, and that learning to move through those battles would shape their character. Your doubts do not get to define the whole story of who you are. What matters is the resilience you keep discovering when those doubts appear. There is something ahead of you that will ask you to step more fully into who you are. It may stretch you beyond what feels comfortable, but it will also give you room to grow into the purpose you have been carrying. Enoch spoke of these moments of transition when chosen ones are called to rise and meet challenges they have never faced before. You are coming towards such a moment now, and you may be more prepared than you realize. You may look at yourself and see unfinished pieces, things you still wish you understood. But the lessons you have gathered, the strength you have developed, and the awareness you have gained are already part of your preparation. Nothing essential is missing, even when your heart sometimes tells you otherwise. Enoch saw that chosen ones would be equipped for the road before them, even during the moments when they questioned whether they were ready. You have what you need to take the next step. And little by little, a clearer sense of purpose is beginning to emerge, even if you cannot yet describe the entire picture. You can feel that your life is meant to carry meaning, that there is something beyond simply moving from one day to the next. That feeling is not random. It is connected to your calling. Enoch spoke about purpose awakening, about chosen ones gradually coming to understand more clearly why they are here. You are moving through that process now, learning to recognize what has been stirring within you for a long time. And even when the path feels solitary, you are not walking it without connection. There are others moving through similar seasons, even if you have not met them yet. In time, you will encounter people whose lives could meet yours in ways that support who you are becoming. Enoch saw that chosen ones would eventually find a sense of community after enduring long stretches of isolation. That sense of belonging is part of what lies ahead, and it can bring a kind of connection you may have been longing for without knowing exactly how to name it. As you continue, remember that your path cannot be measured against someone else's. What brings another person forward may not be what carries you forward, and that difference does not make your journey less meaningful. You are being guided through your own experiences and your own understanding. learning to recognize the path that belongs to you. Enoch spoke of individuality and the need for chosen ones to embrace what makes their path distinct rather than trying to disappear into everyone else's expectations. You are not meant to lose yourself simply to blend in. You are meant to stand honestly in what you have come to understand. Everything you have lived through has brought you to this place, and everything still ahead will build upon what has already happened. You are not beginning from nothing. You are continuing something that has been unfolding through your life for a long time. Enoch saw that chosen ones would continue moving forward with purpose, even after seasons when the way ahead seemed confusing. You are moving now, even if your progress feels slower than you hoped, or less certain than you would like. You have experienced too much and learned too much to return completely to the person you once were. Something has changed in the way you see yourself, and eventually even you will have to acknowledge how deeply that change has taken root. You may already notice it in the way you respond to difficulty. Situations that once overwhelmed, you can now meet a quieter kind of strength within you, and sometimes that difference may surprise you. Life has not necessarily become easier. You have simply learned how to stand differently inside what life brings. Enoch saw that chosen ones would develop resilience through every test they endured, and you are learning to rise through difficulty rather than allowing it to define you. Type 2222 to claim miracles. You're also becoming more careful about what you allow into your life, whether that means certain people, environments, or even the thoughts you continually entertain. This does not have to mean shutting yourself away. It can mean learning discernment and recognizing where your attention and energy truly belong. Enoch described this as guarding the spirit, something chosen ones must learn as they seek to remain aligned. You're becoming less willing to give everything access to you, and there is wisdom in that growing awareness. Recently, you may have experienced moments when something suddenly became clear, almost as though a light switched on inside you, and what had been confusing suddenly made sense. Those moments may have arrived without warning, but they carried a sense of truth that stayed with you. They felt different because you could recognize something within them that you could not simply dismiss. Those moments are not random. They are confirmations that you are moving in the right direction. Enoch spoke about these brief flashes of understanding as glimpses of alignment, moments meant to guide you, reassure you, and help you continue forward when the larger picture remains unclear. Type yes to receive miracles. Why are so many people talking about the billionaire brainwave? A leading neuroscientist says it was identified through a private program connected to CIA research. The 7-second ritual, described as having been confirmed by 4 neuroscience labs, is said to help align your thinking with improved financial outcomes, with many people moving from financial stress toward more stable lifestyles that include dream homes, luxury cars, and the freedom to enjoy luxury vacations. But this discovery may not remain online for long, so click the link in the description and comments before it is gone. You are also beginning to release things that once felt almost impossible to place down. It may be old pain, familiar habits, or expectations you carried for so long that they became part of how you understood yourself. Letting them go has not always felt peaceful, and at times you may even have wondered whether releasing them meant losing a piece of yourself. But what is happening is making room for something new. Enoch saw that chosen ones would pass through a season of shedding, releasing what no longer serves the purpose placed before them. Some things have to be loosened before you can move forward without carrying their weight into every new season. What feels like loss can also be part of the process of making room for what belongs ahead. You are not losing who you are. You are becoming more fully who you truly are. A deeper kind of peace is beginning to settle inside you. It may not remain with you every moment yet, but there are quiet times when you suddenly feel calm, in a way you cannot completely put into words. This peace is not coming from everything around you falling into place. It is rising from within you. It is a sign that you are becoming more aligned with your purpose and with my presence. And Enoch described this inner stillness as a place where chosen ones begin to discover peace within themselves. You have also begun to notice that your priorities are changing. Things that once seemed so important no longer carry the same weight. And at first, you may have wondered why your heart was responding differently. But the shift is part of your growth, because your attention is gradually moving toward what truly matters, and what fits more closely with your purpose. Enoch saw that chosen ones would begin to realign their priorities as their awareness deepened, and you are entering that process of realignment now. There is also something inside you that is ready to come forward, something that has been quietly developing over a long period of time. You may recognize it as a desire to create, to speak, to serve, or to guide others in some way. That desire is not appearing without reason. It is connected to your calling. Enoch spoke about gifts beginning to awaken, and about chosen ones feeling an increasing pull toward their purpose. And what you are sensing now is that same pull drawing you toward something meaningful. You may still hesitate, with a part of you wondering whether you are truly ready or capable of doing what is being asked of you. That hesitation is understandable, but it does not have the final word over you. You have already walked through challenges that revealed more strength than you realized you possessed. And Enoch saw that chosen ones would have moments of self-doubt while continuing forward anyway. Courage does not require you to feel completely fearless. It is found in your decision to keep moving even while fear is present. At the same time, a deeper trust is beginning to grow within you. There is a quiet confidence that you are being guided, even during moments when the way ahead remains unclear. You are gradually depending less on the approval of others and listening more carefully to the understanding developing within you, and that trust will become stronger as you continue. Enoch described this as walking in faith, trusting the path even when the destination cannot yet be seen, and you are learning to walk that way now. You have traveled farther than you sometimes realize. The person standing here today has been shaped by everything you have faced, and you are different from the person who first began this journey. You have carried difficult experiences, learned through them, and developed a strength that those experiences cannot simply take away. Enoch saw that chosen ones would change over time, becoming stronger and increasingly aligned with their purpose. And you are living through that process of growth now. Something significant is drawing closer in your life, something that will ask you to move forward with greater confidence and clarity. It may arrive differently from the way you imagined, but it will fit with the person you are becoming and give you an opportunity to put what you have learned into practice. Enoch spoke about moments of calling when chosen ones must step forward into their purpose. And you are approaching one of those moments now. You are not walking through it by yourself, because I am with you, guiding you, supporting you, and reminding you of the strength you have already developed. There are also people who will enter your life who understand you and genuinely support the growth taking place within you. Enoch saw that chosen ones would eventually discover their place and find people with whom they could share a deeper sense of connection, and that time is coming for you. You have been searching for that kind of connection, and the experiences you have lived through have been preparing you for it. Even the moments that looked like setbacks have taught you, shaped you, and developed parts of you that will matter as you continue forward. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted, and none of it has been without purpose. Enoch saw that chosen ones would be shaped through what they encountered, becoming stronger as they moved through those experiences. And you are stronger because of what you have endured. As you continue, remember that your journey has its own shape and cannot be measured against another person's path. You are walking according to what you have experienced and what you have come to understand. So keep moving, keep growing, and keep trusting the process. Enoch spoke about individuality and the importance of chosen ones embracing what makes their path distinct. You are not here simply to copy the direction of someone else. You are learning to lead in the way that belongs to you. There are things you once accepted that your heart can no longer comfortably tolerate, and that change has created distance between you and certain people or circumstances. You may have tried to explain yourself so others could understand, but everyone will not be able to see what you now see, and that does not make your growth a failure. This separation is part of moving away from what no longer aligns with your purpose. Enoch saw that chosen ones would sometimes have to walk away from what feels wrong, even when leaving is difficult and emotionally costly. You are not being difficult. You are being guided,